Each Doctor's most thought-provoking or reflection-inducing story.
I don't know actually. That's a good question. I've not really thought of Doctor Who that way before. I think maybe the regeneration stories. I think Logopolis probably stands out to me because there's a proper sort of like funeral vibe, and it's like even Tom's performance, like obviously off screen you know that Tom is going to leave at the end of this story, but in the story you feel like Tom knows I'm going to die. Not in like a wank way like David Tennant in The End of Time, but in like a really sort of gradually throughout the story they're accepting their death. I love that. That's one of the reasons why I love Logopolis.
Genesis?
I guess, but I wouldn't necessarily say that it's thought-provoking though.
It is, because
that moment of like, do I have the right? That's a moment, but in terms of a story as a whole that's thought-provoking, I don't know. Genesis, potentially, yeah, but I feel like Logopolis, because it's got that funeral vibe throughout, I think that's the one that like, I immediately think of.
What is your favourite film except The Dark Knight?
Oh, well, that just shows that someone's been watching my channel, because I've mentioned that The Dark Knight is my favourite film. Favourite? Do you know what? I'm going to have to go Space Odyssey. I'm going to have to go Space Odyssey, because it's not everyone's cup of tea, and I'm fully aware of that. But in a way, it's kind of ruined films for me, because we've had this where we've watched a film from like, I don't know, the 90s or something. It's like, oh, special effects are a bit bad. Yeah, well, it's the 90s. And then I'm just like, yeah, but Space Odyssey, it looks amazing, and that was 1968.
Yeah.
It's such a weird film, and I don't think anybody fully gets it. I don't think I fully get it, but it's just such an enjoyable cinema experience.
Not Inception. No, I don't mean Inception. Not Interstellar.
I do love Interstellar. But I think that's a very clear cut, like, you know what's going on in this movie, whereas Space Odyssey, I think you can keep digesting it and find new things each time you watch it. For its time as well.
Yeah,
being from 1968, like, whoa.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
If you could do a fantasy Doctor Who story, what would happen? Meaning classic Doctors with new companions, or new villains, or new Doctors with old companions, etc.
This is going to sound really boring and like a proper monotonous safe answer. I genuinely would have a Pertwee story with the Cybermen.
Okay.
Because he never had one. No, he never did. I think they had like a brief cameo in Carnival of Monsters or something like that, but...
With Joe as a companion?
Oh yeah, it's got to be Joe on it.
Is there one thing about any Doctor Who episode you would change? Just one thing.
What, any? Want to change one thing? I would change Hellbent to not be about Clara. That is just, like I said, that was the episode that sort of was just like, I can't enjoy this anymore, because it's focusing on the wrong things and it's doing everything that I don't want it to do. And I feel like Doctor Who is still doing that as well, which is fine, like, because even though I don't like it, it's still for somebody else and they can enjoy it. And like, someone's favourite episode might be Hellbent, whereas someone else's favourite episode might be The Timeless Children or whatever, and that's totally fine. But for me, Hellbent was the moment where I was like, I can't keep watching this because it's just pissing me off. Like, I'm not watching it because I genuinely enjoy it. I'm watching it because I'm like, right, what's going to wind me up this episode then? And it's genuinely true. So with Hellbent, changing it from being about Clara to like just a Gallifrey story, which it should have been and looked like it was going to be, that's what I would do.
I know you like Liam Gallagher's first solo album. What do you think of the latest one? Why me, why not? Also, who do you think has had the saddest exit from Doctor Who, classic and new? Personally, I think it's Donna getting her memory wiped.
Liam's albums are fucking top drawer. I love them. I genuinely love them. Like, initially, I think most people were sort of like, yeah, Liam had the voice, but he sort of lost it because of drinking and drugs and smoking and all this sort of stuff. And Noel is clearly, like, he's the brains of the outfit. His first album, Noel's first album, I love. I think it's amazing. After that, his stuff is so hit and miss. And borderline pretentious, actually, which is something I never thought I would say about one of the Gallagher brothers. But yeah, Liam's stuff is quality. In terms of the saddest exit then, I'd actually say Tegan. And the reason why I say that is because it's the most real. And I love the fact that it shows you that Doctor Who has consequences, because yes, someone like Adric blew up, but with Tegan, she sees so much death, nearly dies herself multiple times in the space of this one story, and is like, yeah, no, I can't do this now. Like, this is not fun anymore. I love that. I think that's so brutal. and so heartbreaking and so real. I don't think we've ever had an exit as like Donna getting her mind wiped. Yes, it's sad, but it's not real, is it? Whereas seeing so much death that you're just like, I'm gonna go nuts. Yeah, I'm gonna turn down the opportunity to see anything, anywhere, anywhen, because I could be the next person who dies. Like, and with the context of she's already seen Adric die as well. Like, I love that. I think that's brilliant.
If Doctor Who gets a new showrunner, would you give it a chance?
Yeah. New Doctor, new showrunner, I'm always going to give some of the episodes a go.
Do you like Star Wars?
I mean, I do videos on Star Wars. I literally have a playlist sort of down here somewhere. I did it that way. It's down there somewhere. There's a playlist. I do Star Wars videos. I don't talk about it enough, but yeah, I do like Star Wars.
Okay, and if so, which one is your favourite and what is your favourite character?
Empire Strikes Back, because it is one of the greatest sequels ever made. It is brilliant. I love it. And in terms of favourite character, it's either Darth Vader, because he's fucking awesome. How can you not love him? It's so cute the way he just chokes people. So heartwarming.
Yeah, that really cute little trait about someone.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, he's killed another admiral. Oh, there he is. Yeah, either him or Obi-Wan, actually. I really like Obi-Wan.
If you were to pick 3 missing episodes to be found, but 3 other episodes would be missing, what would you choose? No, they have to be 60s episodes, obviously, because...
So as in swap 3 for 3?
Yeah.
I would... Well, the Gunfighters is gone. That can fuck off. Any of the pure historicals, like I said before, I don't really like. So maybe something like the Crusade. Is it the Crusade or the Crusades? I don't really like that. I know you don't like Web Planet, but I do quite like it because it's a bit goofy. Any of the pure historical stories, pick one as the third option. I'll get rid of. In terms of ones to be found, I love Dalek Master Plan. I really want that to be found. Or at least animated. Evil of the Daleks. I really want that one. I'd love Power of the Daleks to be found, actually. I know we've got the animation of it, but I want to see it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I feel like Power of the Daleks is good enough with the animation, whereas Fury from the Deep, I said it in my review, I think, I feel like the real thing would have been better because the animation was very lackluster.
Yeah.
So I'd potentially go with Fury from the Deep being found. Like, yes, we have an animated version, but I reckon the real thing would be better.
Opinion on Series 11?
Which one? Like Jodie's one or Pertwee's one?
Just
Pertwee's one, alright. Jodie's one, shite.
There you go. What writer who has written Doctor Who episodes in the past would you like to see become head writer?
Genuinely none of them. However, I would love to see Charlie Brooker and the Inside Number 9 lads do an episode of Doctor Who. And then judging on that, see how they would do running the show, because I think they're all Doctor Who fans as well.
Yeah.
Like, Black Mirror is so good, Inside Number 9 is so good. I'd just love to see them write for Doctor Who. And I imagine if you sort of had a Black Mirror style show, but with Doctor Who, that could be awesome. Especially with the... because like Black Mirror is all about like technology and stuff, isn't it? Imagine that, like Charlie Brooker writing a Cyberman story. How awesome would that be? And like, how dark would some of the Doctor Who episodes be as well if like Pemberton and Shearsmith wrote like a Doctor Who? Oh, that'd be awesome. But in terms of like an actual writer that's written, I genuinely don't think any of them, based on what they've done thus far, not in the same way that Moffat did. Like when Moffat wrote before he took over, it was like his would just stand out clear and obvious above the rest. We don't need VAR. Clear and obvious. He's the best one. Football reference again. Subscribe to Wingy Football, coming soon.
So you have done what classic monsters work in the new series, so my question is what new monsters would work in the classic series?
See, I don't really know about that because I feel like with that video where it was like what monsters should have come back, I think the reason why I would want to see them in the new series is because the format is totally different and I want to see how they would update them. Whereas I don't really feel like you can take a modern villain and bring them, sort of like regress with them. They can definitely work with doctors though, because I think like the Vashta Narada would work really well with Tom. Actually, like I'm thinking like season 14 Tom with the Vashta Narada, I think could work really well. But that's because it's shadows, not because I imagine if they did it in 1977, 76, whenever it was, it wouldn't look as good. So I feel like you can't really bring them back as such, but I would want to see Tom with the Vashta Nerada.
Do you think they should keep gender politics out of the show?
I think they should just keep politics of any sort out of any show, because I'm bored of it now. I'm sick of everything being... No, actually, I don't mind stuff being political. I hate when stuff is overly political, and I hate the way that the
without needing to be.
Yeah, and I hate the way that the media latches onto stuff where, so for example, with Captain Marvel, just like the way that that was sort of spoken about, you would think that we had never seen a woman in a movie ever. Like, genuinely. And like, Captain Marvel has been such an awesome character in the comics for years. Maybe not recently, but like, I've grown up with knowing her like as either Miss Marvel or Captain Marvel, and she was awesome. And then when you see the movie, it's like, yeah, it's alright. It's not awful, but it's nothing special.
Not the way that it was being
exactly, but you would think like, oh my god, this is like just fucking rein it in with all sorts of BS politics. I don't care about people's politics. Like, I'm not one of those people where I will genuinely get pissed off or upset or offended if someone's political views are there on show. I'm an adult and I've got a brain and I can think for myself. Like, I know that I don't have to agree with absolutely everything that I see, but I feel like at what point are we just going to sort of focus on telling good stories with great characters? If there's political stuff in there, cool, fine. Like, Pertwee era, that's very political, but it's fucking good.
What do you think about the timeless child arc?
Ah, the age-old question. I do know about it, so people can stop asking me. Genuinely, my answer might surprise you. I love it, in the sense that this child that has fallen from a different dimension into our universe can endlessly regenerate and is the foundation of Time Lord society because it can endlessly regenerate, I think is fucking brilliant. And I'm not going to lie, I think that is an amazing idea because it makes the Time Lords darker, and I think there are so many different things, you know, in terms of the Doctor's reaction to that, or like the Master's reaction to that. I think there's so many different directions that you can go with that are incredibly interesting, and it makes the Time Lords seem like properly villainous characters, and that their whole society is based on lies and like pure evil. Or it would be if Chibnall didn't fuck it up and make that child the Doctor. Imagine if you found like the Fountain of Youth, right? And you build a society on that fountain, right? Would you then let that Fountain of Youth wander about the fucking universe unchecked?
No.
No, you wouldn't. Like, it's so stupid. And I know that the Time Lords did check up on the Doctor every now and again throughout the classic era, but not enough where you'd think like their source of regeneration is out there. Like, what? Anything can happen. Why would you just let that go? That's so stupid. I think out of all the possibilities that you could have done with the Timeless Child, making it the Doctor is the least interesting one in terms of the character for the Doctor. Even if it gets retconned, I feel like the damage is already done. Like, I might not have watched series 12, but that idea is just awful. That is the worst idea in Doctor Who's history. Genuinely. I hate it. And the fact that Chibnall did the whole Morbius Doctors as well, from Brain of Morbius, like, no one needed answers to that. It's like everything that I did not want to see is now canon, and it's like, it's so stupid. Especially, like I say, the potential is there because it's like, right, there's this thing called the Cartmel Master Plan. People watching will probably know what it is, and it was like what would have happened had Doctor Who continued with McCoy as opposed to getting cancelled, right? And there was this idea that Time Lord society was built by Rassilon, Omega, and the Other, and it was explored in like the
new lazy.
Yeah.
And the Other.
Yeah, but this is the thing. So it was explored in the new adventure novels, and in those, the Doctor is a reincarnated version of the Other, right? Now, fuck that off. Fuck that right off. You could still do that, have Rassilon, Omega, and the Other is this child. But don't make it the Doctor. Make it something like the Time Lords are trying to cover it up because it's like, this is actually really fucking disgusting what we did. And how would the Doctor react to that? Like, the Doctor has benefited from regeneration, but the Doctor would not want to benefit from regeneration knowing that this child was essentially murdered endlessly for regeneration to happen.
Yeah, because then it questions the morals of the Doctor.
Exactly. There's so much you can do with that, but making the child the Doctor is boring. Boring, and it's lazy, and it's just to be like, the Doctor's origin revealed. It's just for headlines. That's it.
Yeah.
And the thing is, people have said to me like, well, if you haven't seen the episode, don't comment on it. But the thing is, I would hate that idea irrespective of the context that you give it to me. Like, I don't have to put a turd in between two slices of bread to know that I'm not going to fucking enjoy that. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's like the nicest sourdough and it's like the lightest dollop of the delicious poo of like the gods or whatever, like, it's still going to be a fucking shit sandwich, innit? You know what I mean? I just don't want that shit. Literally.
Quite literally.